Welcome back to Dixie Alley Weather Center. My name is Caleb Crick. Today is Monday, August 11th, 2025, and I've got a lot of updates, especially concerning Tropical Storm Erin that is out there in the Atlantic Ocean, just formed later this morning. Is going to continue to move off to the west. The track has shifted a little bit, different tracks. We're going to talk about this all in this video. I'm also going to be talking about the rain potential that is going to build as we go throughout this week, where we could have many areas in the Dixie Alley picking up 1 to even 5 inches of rain as we go throughout the next couple of days. I'll also be talking about the heat that is going to return to the U.S. as we go throughout later this week to the weekend and into next week. All this and more is included in this video, so let's get right into it. Here is a wide view of the Atlantic Ocean and parts of the United States right now. You can see we got a lot of spinning areas right now in Atlantic right now. One is this one right here that we've been tracking for a while. Still has a low chance of development, around a 10% chance of development over the next couple of days. Once again, if this does develop, it wouldn't be more than a tropical depression. Still not even expecting that. And it wouldn't cause any problems to the United States. It is moving off to the north and east. No problems expected to the United States at all. We also have a new area of development with this new spin that has come off of a front that has just moved off the United States. It has a small chance of development over the next 48 hours, 10% chance, just like the other one. Really, once again, with this one, not expecting anything to develop, but there is a low chance as we go throughout the next couple of days because it has developed some more subtropical characteristics. So we'll have to continue to watch that as we go throughout the next couple of days, not expecting any concerns for the U.S. right now, especially with that one. The one thing that I am continuing to monitor is Tropical Storm Erin over here. You may be like, that looks really small. These other ones look pretty big. Well, yeah, it is pretty small, but it's a lot more developed than all these other ones. Is a lot stronger, is causing around 45-mile-per-hour winds right now. We saw this really blow up overnight into this morning. It has weakened a little bit throughout later this morning into the afternoon. Doesn't mean it's not a tropical storm anymore. It's just going through one of those eyewall replacement phases right now. It's going to go through a lot of those, especially as it becomes a hurricane and maybe even a major hurricane as we go throughout the next couple of days. But before we dive too deep into the tropics, let's take more of a look at the United States right now. You can see we've got a lot of cloud cover, a lot of convection currently ongoing, especially across parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe even the eastern parts of Georgia near Savannah. We did have a lot of flooding earlier this morning, along with that, some of that heavy rainfall, some frequent downpours that happened in the Charleston area. There were a few cars that were reported stranded in the water. We actually had a report of an ambulance that had people inside of it that was stuck in a flooded roadway. So, I mean, there's still flood advisories there. There's probably still ponding on the roadways. Don't drive through flooded roadways. I know there's probably construction workers that have already put out signs for those areas that are impassable. But make sure you aren't driving through roadways that look like they have water on them. Also, we have a lot of convection currently ongoing off the coast of Florida right now in the Gulf of America, probably causing a few showers and thunderstorms for the panhandle of Florida, maybe even extending over there towards the New Orleans area. But most of the other areas look clear, like most of Mississippi, most of Alabama, parts of Tennessee, and even parts of the peninsula of Florida. We're not expecting as much shower and thunderstorm activity throughout today. Here's a look at some of the areas that could get in on some showers and thunderstorms throughout today. You can see this is going throughout the afternoon hours today. You can see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout parts of central Alabama, parts of Georgia, maybe even into the Carolinas. That's going to move off into more of the Atlantic Ocean as we go throughout the day today. Most of that was occurring this morning, but we expect some convection to ongo across parts of Alabama, Georgia, cause a few flooding problems. Not expecting any strong to severe storms, but could rule out a few gusty winds, frequent lightning with some of these storms, and extending down into parts of the panhandle of Florida where we could have more of a moist environment today. Could cool off the temperatures a little bit, but it's going to be downright wet. Don't drive through flooded roadways once again, as this could cause some localized flooding in some areas. Areas like Mississippi, most of Tennessee, parts of Louisiana are going to start to dry out as we go throughout the day and throughout this evening. But as we go throughout the day tomorrow, that will change for much of the area. We do expect some more widespread shower and thunderstorm coverage throughout much of the Dixie Alley, parts of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, maybe even extending into parts of Tennessee, and then down there throughout Louisiana, Mississippi. Most everybody's going to have a chance to get some of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. The areas that aren't going to be expecting as much widespread shower and thunderstorm activity, maybe parts of the peninsula of Florida, maybe a few scattered showers, summertime showers and thunderstorms could cause some frequent lightning, gusty winds, but not expecting as widespread coverage as these other ones that are throughout the rest of the Dixie Alley. But as we go throughout the rest of this week, we're expecting much of the same as we go throughout the next couple of days. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms. not expecting any strong to severe thunderstorms, but we could get a pop-up strong, maybe even a severe thunderstorm throughout some of these areas. But once again, with those cooler than average temperatures, especially farther off to the east, we don't expect as much severe, scattered strong to severe storms. If we did get some stronger or severe storms, that would be farther over to the west, maybe in parts of northern Louisiana, parts of western Mississippi, maybe get a few stronger thunderstorms in parts of Arkansas. But once again, that's not the main concern. We're just talking about some flooding rains, maybe some cooler temperatures as we go throughout this week for those who get in on some of those rain showers. So here's a look at the accumulated rainfall that we could see in some areas over the next couple of days. And this is just a computer model. It doesn't mean when it puts you under like 5 inches of rain, you're going to be getting 5 inches of rain. This is just the general areas where this computer model expects the most rainfall. As we go throughout the next couple of days, you can see as we go throughout parts of this week, maybe towards Wednesday, Thursday, you can see a lot of areas in the Dixie Alley maybe picking up on half an inch all the way up there towards maybe up to 5 or upwards of 5 inches in many areas. The main target points I'm thinking is throughout parts of Alabama, parts of southern Mississippi, parts of the Panhandle of Florida, maybe up into central and northern Georgia, and then throughout the Appalachian Mountains, parts of western North Carolina, and then parts of northern South Carolina expecting the most rainfall. Now, this doesn't mean you guys are going to be getting the most rainfall. It doesn't mean if you're in these areas you're going to get like 5 inches of rain. It just means there's a chance to get 5 inches of rain. There's a chance for above average rainfall this week. There's going to be, as we go farther throughout this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to have big increased chances of showers and thunderstorms. All the areas still remain uncertain. As you go farther off to the west, the uncertainty is a little higher. Farther off towards the east, it is the higher chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. But what we do know is there is going to be an increased chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout much of the Dixie Alley, parts of the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. Just make sure you're staying weather aware. Most of us do need this rain, but for some of us, we do not need extra rainfall, and it could cause some flooding on the roadways. Once again, don't drive through flooded roadways. Make sure you're heeding warnings. If you're put under a flash flood warning, you know if you live in a flood-prone area and you need to move. But I am not expecting anything life-threatening out of this situation. And like I said earlier, all eyes are on the tropics right now as we have Tropical Storm Erin that has formed. The National Hurricane Center is expecting this to move off towards the west and then maybe eventually make a northwesterly curve. Once again, the track is still pretty uncertain. You can see how wide this track is. The storm could be anywhere from all the way up here on Saturday to all the way down here, too close to the Caribbean for comfort. But like I said, things can change. It does not mean it's locked in right now. But right now, the National Hurricane Center is pretty confident that we are expecting to see this continue to be a strengthening tropical storm as we go throughout the day, tomorrow, maybe even the morning on Wednesday. But we do expect this to become a hurricane sometime on Wednesday, and then maybe even a somewhat major hurricane as we go into the weekend. But once again, the details are still, the farther you go out into the future, it becomes more uncertain. We do not know if this is going to head closer to the United States, but thankfully most of the computer models are curving this out to sea. But we'll have to continue to see what these are looking like as we get farther off into the future. Like I said, it's still too far to know, or too far out in the future to know exactly where this is going to go. But like I said, I am monitoring this, and I will let you know as soon as something becomes concerning for us. But right now, nothing's looking too concerning right now. Once again, this will cause some problems for some areas. If this curved out to the north and west, it could cause some problems for areas like Bermuda. And we certainly aren't trying to hope that bad stuff upon them. But, I'll continue to watch this. This is going to become a hurricane no matter what. How much it strengthens and where it goes is still pretty uncertain, though. Here's a look at the GFS model and what it is showing in terms of Tropical Storm Erin. Where is it expecting it to go? Here's a look at, as we go farther into the future, you can see this is going to continue to strengthen into a tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane as we go throughout the next couple of days. Pretty fast. We expect this to undergo rapid intensification as it enters really pretty warm waters. And right now, it is not even under the warmest waters. As it gets closer to land, it is going to enter a more favorable environment. This is going to grow really quickly because we haven't really had any storms that have been able to take up that moisture, take up the environment, take up that surface heat content that this hurricane is really going to have the advantage to be able to do. Like I said, as we go into the next couple of days, this is by August 13th, this is by Wednesday, we expect a hurricane already to have formed. This would be a Hurricane Erin already. Now, once again, this is just one computer model. This is just where it's showing. It expects it to continue to intensify as we go throughout the next couple of days, as we go into the weekend. expects it to intensify into maybe even a major hurricane as it approaches areas near the Caribbean. Now, we do not expect this at this time to impact areas in the Caribbean, just cause some high wave heights, storm surge. Not much in the way of storm surge, but maybe rough seas, some rip current, dangerous rip currents. You don't want to be out on the waters when this is nearing the area. I mean, we don't expect like a direct hit or anything, but we still got to continue to watch our friends over there in the Caribbean. As we go through the next couple of days, the GFS model is still hinting that this curves away, which would be a good scenario for us. We don't want this to be hitting any land or anything, but if this did curve away, it'd be more of a threat, or it'd be more threatening areas like Bermuda. So we need to continue to watch that. But once again, nothing too concerning right now. All the computer models that I am seeing right now aren't showing this hitting the U.S., and that is a good sign for right now. The thing that we are going to have to continue to deal with is the intense heat. As we go throughout the day today, you can see we already have temperatures climbing into the upper 90s, in areas like Mississippi, Louisiana, parts of Arkansas, extending up there into the mid to upper 90s in some areas. There is a couple heat advisories for parts of Louisiana and parts of Mississippi for areas that might get in on some of those above average temperatures. Some, heat indexes that are above 105 with some of the higher humidity down there. But over here across the East Coast and farther towards the Southeast, we expect more below average temperatures, especially with all the rainfall that's currently ongoing right now. Parts of Alabama maybe just getting to the mid to lower 80s in some areas. Up in the Appalachian Mountains, going to be feeling pretty comfortable, especially if you don't get any rain. It's only going to be into the upper 70s, probably barely being able to get out of the 70s, especially in some of those areas in the Appalachian Mountains. Throughout parts of South Carolina, lower 80s, parts of North Carolina, lower 80s, maybe a few areas squeezing toward the mid 80s, parts of the peninsula of Florida where you're not getting as much rain, though, probably mid 90s to upper 90s in some areas. Once again, it's going to remain pretty hot, but the big story is what is coming for us later in this week. You're going to have a big heat wave start to build starting in the east as we go throughout the next week, or later into this week, into the weekend. We're going to start to have high temperatures build throughout the U.S., above average temperatures build throughout the U.S. You can see the worst of the temperatures are going to be in the plains, but we are going to start to get on some of those higher temperatures starting in the west and then moving off to the east. We're going to have temperatures all across the Dixie Alley, getting into the mid to upper 90s again. Areas in Florida could reach the 100s again. And then areas near Louisiana and Mississippi, maybe the upper 90s, and some areas reaching 100 once again. Not expecting a record-breaking event like we saw later in July, but once again, high temperatures. The rain chances are going to start to dwindle a little bit. Not as high of rain chances, so not as much cooling it down out there. But it's going to remain pretty humid, cause some high heat indexes, stuff that could cause some problems as we go throughout the future. But once again, still pretty far out in the future. We do expect above average temperatures, though, but nothing record-breaking or nothing too concerning at this moment. And once again, that is all the weather info I got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. It was another day of school for me, so sorry if the video is a little late for you. But anyway, here's a look at Tropical Storm Erin, continuing to move throughout the Atlantic Ocean. Once again, we're going to have continuous updates every single day. No matter how busy I am, I'm going to try to give you guys updates based on where the track is. Their track is going to update every single day, guys. And I'm going to get more and more information based on how much this develops, what the track is. It's going to be narrowing down the farther we go off into the future. So I'm going to have those updates as soon as if something looks concerning for the U.S. or the Dixie Alley, I will let you know right away. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.